Vlad TV has recently been asking the question, why are Southern California Mexican rappers more successful than Northern California Mexican rappers? And we'll touch on that in a bit, but right now let's just talk about Northern and Southern California rap music in general, specifically the Bay Area and LA. Why is it that LA rappers have a more successful track record? They've gone platinum a lot more than Bay Area artists. And one of the main reasons is because of the labels. Los Angeles and New York, those two places have a lot of music labels that helps artists get exposure and reach platinum success. But that makes you wonder, why does New York and LA have so many labels? LA is the entertainment mecca of the West Coast, and New York is the entertainment mecca of the East Coast. Now, as far as LA goes, the reason why that is because of Hollywood. Hollywood was there before the music industry began in LA. So when Hollywood began paying attention to the ghettos of LA, they began making movies that were based in those ghettos. But there's one movie in particular, and that movie is Colors. That put a big spotlight on LA and the gang culture there. Right after that movie was released, NWA came on the scene, and having that spotlight already on LA helped them garner major success, because nobody had ever heard of Compton prior to NWA, but they did know that that group was from the Los Angeles area, and everybody throughout the country was curious to hear about these guys and their stories. Now, the Bay Area, on the other hand, didn't have a lot of major motion pictures. They were located in the ghettos of the Bay Area, one exception being the Mac. But if you have kids mimicking the lifestyle of these West Coast criminals that are part of these rap songs, what would be easier for you to mimic? A gangbanger in LA or a pimp in Oakland? It's not easy to copy a culture, especially a gang culture like the one they have in LA, but it is easy to mimic. And most definitely, the culture of Oakland or the Bay Area, in the ghettos of the Bay Area, that culture cannot even be mimicked. It can't be copied, it can't even be attempted, because you would have to garner a lot of things in order to even attempt to mimic that culture, that lifestyle, that mentality. You will need the lingo, you will need the money, you will need the car, the attitude, the ambition. But you have two choices when you look at California as a listener outside of the state. Do I mimic LA or do I mimic the Bay? And of course, one is easier, so they chose LA. All you need is a bandana and you're a gangster. Southern California Mexican rappers and Northern California Mexican rappers fall under the same umbrella as far as reasoning goes. There's been almost as many successful black hood movies as Mexican hood films. Again, that puts a spotlight on your location. There is a curiosity behind it now throughout the country and even the world. Northern California Mexicans don't have that exposure with Hollywood, so they have to start their own buzz, and that makes things a little more difficult. If they were to make a major motion picture based on the gangs of Northern California, you would see a lot more successful rappers out of Northern California.